June the 6th in the year 1944 was a single day when thousands of young soldiers stepped into the waves. They carried the weight of an entire world upon their shoulders. It was a day when courage challenged tyranny. It was a day when the fate of Europe depended on every decision and every landing craft and every heartbeat. This moment became the turning point of a generation. In the summer of 1944, the Allies launched the largest amphibious invasion in human history. After years of preparation and deception and intelligence work and lessons earned in earlier campaigns, the Allied nations prepared for a single decisive blow. On the beaches of Normandy, the forces of Britain and Canada and the United States and many others broke open the Western Front. Through airborne operations and naval, fire and armored landings, the Allies began the long liberation of Europe. June the 6th in the year 1944 became a moment etched into the memory of the Western world. It marked the day when freedom began its long march against the tyranny that had consumed the continents between the year 1939 and early years of the 1940s. The forces of Adolf Hitler swept across Europe with destruction and brutality. For a time, it seemed nothing could halt their ambition. Only Britain, battered yet unbroken, held the line long enough for hope to survive. In the years that followed, Britain and Canada and the United States and many other allied nations forged a united force. Their goal was to strike directly at the heart of Nazi domination. The blow would be delivered on the beaches of Normandy. It became known as Operation Overlord. The world remembers it simply as D-Day. When Japan attacked the United States in December of 1941, Hitler declared war on America. This decision brought American industry and manpower fully into the struggle. It opened new possibilities for defeating Nazi rule. Soviet leaders demanded a second front as early as the year 1942. British and American commanders recognized the danger of rushing into an invasion. Without proper preparation, supplies and intelligence and trained forces were still lacking. The full assault on Western Europe was delayed. In 1940, de Churchill approved the raid on the French port of Dieppe. Canadian troops carried out the attack. The raid proved disastrous and resulted in heavy losses. The lesson was clear that storming a fortified coastline would be brutally costly. Meanwhile, British and American forces were pressing Axis armies in North Africa. Victories at El Alamein and across the region pushed the enemy back. From there, the Allies invaded Sicily and then Italy. Progress through Italy was slow yet steady. The main effort had to return to France. As planning grew, the key questions emerged. One question was, who would command the invasion? Another question was, where the blow would fall. Eisenhower was chosen to lead the operation. His strength lay in unifying many nations and personalities into one force. Next, planners had to select a landing site. The shortest crossing lay at the Pas de Calais. It was also the most heavily defended point on the French coast. Planners turned their attention to Normandy along the French shoreline. Germany had built the massive Atlantic Wall. Concrete bunkers and artillery and mines stretched for thousands of miles. Rommel was tasked with strengthening these defenses. He believed the invasion must be stopped at the shoreline. If the Allies secured a foothold, Germany would be unable to push them back. In Britain, preparations accelerated. A major rehearsal called Operation Tiger revealed deadly risks. German fast attack craft struck American training ships. The tragedy caused heavy losses and nearly jeopardized the real invasion. To prepare for D-Day, Allied aircraft photographed German defenses from dangerous low altitudes. Underwater teams measured beach depths and secret nighttime missions. Millions of pre-war photographs from civilians helped map the French coastline. While gathering intelligence, the Allies crafted elaborate deception plans under Operation Bodyguard and Operation Fortitude. Fake armies were created from inflatable tanks and dummy aircraft. Scripted radio transmissions completed the illusion. These efforts convinced German commanders that the invasion would come at Calais or even in Norway. The deception worked so well that even after landings at Normandy, the Germans believed a larger attack was still coming. The invasion would strike 5 beaches. Utah and Omaha were assigned to American forces. Gold and Sword were assigned to British forces. Juno was assigned to Canadian forces. Airborne troops would secure bridges and silence artillery behind enemy lines. As the hour approached, weather became critical. Eisenhower relied on the judgment of Group Captain James Stagg. Stagg warned of storms on June the 5th. Eisenhower delayed the invasion by one day. This decision proved correct when violent weather struck the coast on an original date. On the night of June, the 5th Minesweepers cleared paths toward France. More than 1,000 aircraft attacked defenses through the night. The weakened Luftwaffe could not contest the skies. American paratroopers lifted off into the darkness. They faced heavy anti-aircraft fire and chaotic drops. Units landed scattered across the countryside. Despite the confusion, they secured roads and bridges and gun positions. British and American gliders followed with heavier equipment. Their landings were extremely dangerous. At Omaha, the most heavily defended beach, American troops faced fierce resistance. Wind and obstacles pushed landing craft off course. The first waves suffered devastating losses. Rangers climbed the cliffs of Point du Hoc under deadly fire. They discovered that the guns had been moved inland. The Rangers located and destroyed the guns. Then they endured a long day of combat holding their position at Utah Beach. American forces met light resistance. They secured the beach quickly. Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt Jr. personally led troops through heavy fire. His leadership became a defining moment of the day. At Gold Beach, British troops struggled against submerged mines and strong resistance. Their specialized vehicles cleared obstacles and strong points. By midday, they pushed inland at Juno Beach. Canadian forces faced mines and deadly defenses. Their landing craft suffered heavy losses. By nightfall, the Canadians had advanced farther inland than any other force. At Sword Beach, British troops battled through narrow coastal towns. A sudden counterattack from the 21st Panzer Division threatened the beachhead. Air support and determined infantry held the line. Airborne forces at the Orne River Bridge maintained their position through the day. The German command structure faltered during crucial hours. Hitler remained asleep when the invasion began. His commanders hesitated to act without his approval. When informed he believed the Normandy assault was a diversion, this misunderstanding delayed reinforcements. Allied air power destroyed many German units on the move. By nightfall, the Allies held firm positions along the beaches. The foothold in France was secure. In the weeks that followed, they pushed inland. 11 months later, Nazi Germany collapsed. D-Day is remembered for triumph and sacrifice. The young men who crossed the Channel faced chaos and terror. Their courage opened the path to the liberation of Europe. Because of them, the question of what might have happened if the invasion failed remains only a matter of speculation.